number 1. So with all respect, I would like to take us to page page 5. The Holy Quran of the Moorish Science Temple of America, divinely prepared by the noble prophet Noble Drew Ali, by the guidance of his Father God Allah, the great God of the universe, to redeem man from his sinful and fallen stage of humanity back to the highest plane of life with his Father God Allah. Our lesson we find today, we're going to be coming from page number 5, the education of Mary and Elizabeth in Zoan, Egypt. And I want to make sure that we're clear that you notice who we're talking about here, the mothers. If you notice on page 3, it does teach us, mothers teach these lessons to your little ones. So we know that the mother is very instrumental in the way the child is, because the child is perfect. It's what? The mother is. And so we want to make sure we keep this in our thoughts. We know where we inherit our inconsistencies and our instabilities. We got to know where it comes from, so we can guard ourselves against these things. This is lessons that Noble Drew Ali brought us, these ancient lessons, but we want to keep it connected. You know, we can go to chapter 45, but we want to keep chapter 1 in mind while we back there. You know, don't forget about chapter 17 and chapter 16 when we back there. Let's keep everything connected. I don't know if they normally read, but we'd like to get people to participate and read. So I'll see if we have any volunteers, someone that can read the first 3 instructions for me. Islam? Well, I'll begin to read. Islam.
Brother, would it be all right for you to have a designated reader, brother?
All is well. And who is speaking right now? Islam.
Brother, ain't on his back.
Okay, Islam. Do I have anyone who want to come in and volunteer to read?
Islam. Sister D. I can read the first 3 divine instructions.
Islam, brother D. Allen. Sister D. Allen's praise.
Islam. First I rise and I give praise to Allah, and I give honors to Prophet Noble Drew Ali, and I give honors to everything that the Quran class instructor gave honors to. I'm going to take a reading from chapter 2, Education of Mary and Elizabeth in Zoan, Egypt. Divine instruction number 1. The son of Herod, Archelaus, reigned in Jerusalem. He was a selfish, cruel king. He put to death all of those who did not honor him. He called in council all the wisest men and asked the infant claimants of his throne. The council said that John and Jesus both were dead. Then he was sacrificed. Peace.
Wow. Thank you, Sister D. Allen's praise. Divine instruction number 4. Brother M. Cook Bay.
Joseph, Islam, I give honor and praise to Allah. I give honor to our holy divine prophet. I give honor to everything my brother man has given honor to. Divine instruction 4.
Give me 4 through, excuse me, brother M. Cook Bay. Give me 4 through 7.
Okay, brother man. Now Joseph, Mary, and their son were in Egypt in Zoan, and John was with his mother in the Judean hills. He was sent messengers in haste to find Elizabeth and John. They found them. They brought them to Zoan. Divine instruction 6. Now Mary and Elizabeth were marveling much because of their deliverance. Divine instruction 7. Earlier said, quote, it is not strange. There are no happenings. Law governs all events.
Islam.
Wow.
We have, I thought my children would be in attendance as well. I try to make sure they participate, but they probably available with my wife. Divine instruction 8, 9, 10, and 11. Anyone want to volunteer? But Higgins Bay, you can unmute. I heard you said something. Grand Higgins. She having trouble
Oh,
on
we
mute.
can't hear you, Sister Grand Sheiks.
She's trying to unmute.
Mm-hmm.
Hold on.
Okay.
There you
There you
go.
go. Islam.
Islam Moors,
Islam.
praise Allah and honors to his prophet. Which divine instructions, brother?
8, 9, 10, and 11.
Instruction 8. From olden times, it was ordained that you should be with us and in this sacred school be taught. Elihu and Salome took Mary and Elizabeth out to the sacred grove nearby, where they were wont to teach. Elihu said to Mary and Elizabeth, quote, "You may esteem yourselves thrice blessed, for you are chosen mothers of long promised sons, who are ordained to lay a solid rock, a sure foundation stone on which the temple of the perfect man shall rest, a temple that shall never be destroyed."
Islam. Sister B. Varnell, you available to read?
It's fine. I'm available. Praise
Islam.
Allah.
Praise Allah.
And
Can you give me divine
I,
instruction 12, 13, 14, and 15?
all is well. Praise Allah. Honors to his holy and divine prophet. Honors and continue to give me with the honors previously given. Divine instruction. Repeat the instructions, brother. 12 and
12,
through.
13, 14, and 15.
Okay. Divine instruction 12. We measure time by cycle ages, and the gate to every age we deem a milestone in the journey of the race. An age had passed, the gate unto another age flies open at the age touch of time. This is the preparation age of soul, the kingdom of Emmanuel, of Allah and man. And these, your sons, will be the first to tell the news and teach the gospel of goodwill to men and peace on earth. Did you?
Islam.
Okay.
12, 13, 14, and 15.
Oh, praise Allah. A mighty work is theirs, for carnal men want not the light.
Mm-hmm.
They love the dark, and when the light shines in the dark, they comprehend it not.
Islam. I'll continue to read from here. It says, divine instruction 16 says, we call these sons revealers of the light, but they must have the light before they can receive the light. And you must teach your sons and set their souls on fire with love and holy zeal, and make them conscious of their mission to the sons of men. Teach them that Allah and man are one, but that through carnal thoughts and words and deeds, man tore himself away from Allah, debased himself. Teach that the holy breath will make them one again, restoring harmony and peace. That naught can make them one but love. That Allah so loved the world that he has clothed his son in flesh that man can comprehend. The only love, the only savior of the world is love. And Jesus, son of Mary, comes to manifest that love to men. Can I find someone who want to volunteer to give me 22, 23, and 24? Islam, Brother
Islam.
G, I see Islam. Who's that?
Islam, brother the Almond Bay.
Islam, Brother Armor Bay.
Islam, Morris. Praise Allah and honor to his holy prophet. Honors to everything that the chairperson gave honors to on the onset of the meeting. Honors to those who spoke before me and those who speak after me. You said divine instruction. What again, dear brother?
22, 23, and 24.
Islam. Divine instruction 22. Now love cannot be manifested until his way has been prepared, and naught can rend the rock and bring down lofty hills and fill the valleys up. And thus, excuse me, I'm traveling too, dear brother, but I don't want to not volunteer. Hold on 1 second. Let me just make it a little bigger. All right, you mind if I start over, dear brother?
Yeah, Islam.
Islam. Now love cannot be manifested until his way has been prepared, and naught can rend the rock and bring down lofty hills and fill the valleys up, and thus prepare the way, but purity. But purity in life, men do not comprehend, and so it too must come in flesh. And you, Elizabeth, are blessed because yours are purity made flesh, and he shall pave the way for love. And did you say 25 or no?
If you want to, you can give me another one. Islam.
Oh, it's fine. This age will comprehend but little of the works of purity and love, but not a word is lost. For in the book of Allah's remembrance, a registry is made of every thought and word and deed. Peace.
Peace. Islam. Someone want to give me chapter, instruction 26, 27, and 28?
Islam.
Islam. Brother J. Clay
Praise
Bay?
Allah. Islam. Praise Allah to his prophet Noble Ali, honors in conjunction with honors previously given. Instruction 26.
Yes. 26, 27, and 28.
And when the world is ready to receive, lo, Allah will send a messenger to open up the book and copy from its sacred pages all the messages of purity and love. Then every man of earth will read the words of life in language of his own native land. And men will see the light and walk in the light and be the light. And man again will be at one with Allah. Peace.
Islam. Peace. Islam. So at this time, we're going to go back. We're going to open up the floor for discussion today. We want to discuss this chapter. I'm going to ask a couple of questions about, what do you know about Herod, Achilles, who they were, if anyone got some information on that. What do you know about these wise men that they talked to, if you got any information on that as we continue to move forward in the chapter. Anyone know who Achilles was, who Herod was, anything about them? Anybody familiar with them? Islam? Can the Moors hear me?
Yeah, we hear you more. Go ahead.
Okay, Islam. I was just asking.
Islam. I would like to comment on Herod the Great.
Okay.
Herod was a Roman governor that ruled parts of Palestine, and he had two sons. And upon his death, Archelaus took charge. And this is the one that's made mention of in verse 1, instruction 1, where it say the son of Herod. Right. When you talking about Herod, you talking about Herod the Great. And he had two sons. One name was Archelaus, and he reigned in Jerusalem. He was a selfish, cruel king, just like his daddy was. His daddy was a selfish and cruel king as well. He put to death all of those that did not honor him. And this is why in the Bible it talks about that he sent soldiers in, and he had all the children from the age of 2 years to birth murdered in Bethlehem because he was trying to kill Jesus and John. But Jesus and John, they wasn't in Bethlehem. They was in Egypt. And that's how we go into the story, talking about how Mary and Elizabeth was taught by Elihu and Salome. Praise Allah. Peace.
Praise Allah. Appreciate you, my brother. Islam. Anybody else want to share anything? Anything you want to add to that? I think the brother gave us some great information right there. One thing about how Islam, go ahead, my brother.
Islam, I don't want to cut your jaw, Mo. Go ahead.
Islam, no. I was opening the floor up for anyone who wants to add to that.
Islam, and to add to the brother's point, I think that Archaeus created the condition in which produced Jesus and John. I think that's important to point out in this chapter as well, because there's a condition that called for Jesus and John, and I think Archaeus and Herod produced that environment in order to produce a John, or the need of a John or a Jesus. With that, I say peace.
Islam. And I also want to point out the fact that it was Herod himself who his wife ordered the head of John the Baptist, and they beheaded John the Baptist. So don't forget the forerunner, how he left the manifest before they crucified Jesus. They beheaded John the Baptist. You know, they've been trying to kill them since they was children, but Allah protected them long enough until their earthly task was done. And we'll notice the work they was called to do as we go into this lesson. So this is the protection that's put on them. It spoke about Elohim Shalom sent messengers in haste to find Elizabeth and John. They found them and brought them to Zoan. So they got them out of the holy city, Jerusalem. And they took them out of where they come from, which is Israel, over to now into Africa, right? Egypt, as we know. And I want to ask the class, said now Mary and Elizabeth was marveling much because of their deliverance. So what does the word marveling much mean? What we talking about? What was they doing when they was marveling? What were they doing?
They were astonished. They were amazed. They was happy.
Islam. It's like feeling like it's like when it's like when you feel blessed, Islam, Brother G-Bay, you got your hand up.
Islam, praise Allah to the Prophet Ali. I give honor to the Quran class. I give honor to all previous honors. Yeah, that's a heavy demonstration, Moors. And it's not strange that Prophet Ali, right after praising the fall of man, gives us the education of Mary and Elizabeth, because this is, like the brother was saying, this is what the conditions that Jesus and John were in, and their mothers were in. This is the conditions that they had to teach, right? This is the conditions that they had to teach their children in. Also, too, I lost my thought. When they talk about the three wise men, those were the wise men that Archelaus had sent to go search for Jesus and John. Those were those same three wise men. Peace.
Islam. I see my dead brother. Did you have your hand up more? I seen you put your hand up. I see Sister B Bonnet got a head, but you mute up more. I hear you. You gotta unmute. Okay, working on that mute button. I see brother the Berry Bay family, Sister Bonnet, go ahead.
Islam. What came to mind, and I just wanted to add to the thoughts of the condition. Praise Allah for bringing that thought out. The conditions of what these mothers had to go through. When I read this chapter, I always see myself in it because I'm a mother. And so when you look at the chaotic world we live in today as well, you got everything that harms trying to take your babies out, So we must understand the great task that we have as mothers, understanding that no language can describe our worth. And it's very important that we keep ourselves on task because our children are as perfect as us. So it's an important task for us to develop our children as we have the example of Mary and Elizabeth receiving. And I think about how we have those teachers in the Moorish Science Temple of America, that have that wisdom, that love, and are helping and assist and teach us, like in Sunday school class, for example, or in settings like this where we're gaining knowledge and using it as a sense of protection. I can see that protection that Allah provided the parents in this specific story too, and that is tough. You got somebody literally trying to murder you, and then but it's Allah still had good meant for it because they were getting the lessons, the divine lessons that they needed to be ready for the work that they clearly had to do. With that, I say peace.
Islam. Berry Bay family, I got brother L. Thompson Bay.
Islam. First I rise and give all praises to Allah, honors to his prophet, and honors to this Quran class, honors to you, Brother Vaughn Hill, and honors to this chapter. Praise Allah. I want to camel walk with the Moors, and I give honors to everything the Moors said before me and will say after me. I want to camel walk with the Grand Governor, Brother L. Thompson Bey, When he eloquently broke down the spirits and the characters in this chapter, where we have to understand, what I've learned is that we have to be able to make the correlations between that government and this government. Remember, truth don't change or pass away. So when we read in these instructions, remember that these instructions are as ancient as they are contemporary. They are as ancient as they are contemporary, because we can show today what's happening in chapter 2. We can show it today right in our own government. And as the brother Cortez Bay broke down, that coming out of chapter 1, when I first joined the Moorish Science Temple of America, my wife, used to ask, where is the sister in this? And I used to bring her to chapter 2. The sisters are they're the foundation of this Quran. There's no, the sequence is the fall, the creation and fall of man, and then we get right into the education of Elizabeth, Mary and Elizabeth. So I just like to share with the Moors that these instructions are as ancient as they are also contemporary, and always be able to apply them to the moment today. With that, I say peace.
Islam. Brother L. Thompson Bay.
Praise Allah and honor Prophet Noble Drew Ali. Yeah, that is absolutely right. Without the past of what was, there wouldn't be a presence of what is. Prophet Noble Drew Ali said, Rome, you got me 2,000 years ago, but I got you today. And he was talking about the government in which we reside in, which is a modern Roman system. So praise Allah for that thought. But one of the things I wanted to point out as well, it say he called in council all the wisest men and asked the infinite claimant of his throne. And we know that he was talking about John and Jesus. He was talking about them claiming to be kings, more so Jesus than John. But the wise men were the Pharisees and the Sadducees. Those were ruling Jews that was working hand in hand with orchardlists. And that's why Jesus taught in the Bible. He said, beware of the rising of the Pharisees and Sadducees, because they was angry with him when he came back into Jerusalem and began to his divine ministry. And that's when they started to plot to kill him. After 3 years he was in Jerusalem, they crucified him according to their law. Peace.
Islam. Faith. As we go down, it says, it is not strange. There's no happenings. Law governs all events. From olden times, it was ordained that you should be with us in this sacred school and be taught, right? So now it was saying that all this is already prophesied. And I want to make it clear to the Moors right now. It's not strange that we are all here right now. It was not strange that we're talking about this tonight, right? You know, I didn't know what we was going to talk about tonight, but I knew we was going to be joined together. And these are the lessons that was held back from the outside world, that they didn't really know what Jesus really was teaching and what his parents had to learn so they can teach him as parents. We got to honor those sisters, right? But I want to say this because I was asking about that marveling much, and the brother did say it, but it said they was marveling much, right? And they told him it's not strange, but it also told him, Elihu Salome took Mary and Elizabeth out to the sacred grove nearby where they were wont to teach. Elihu said to Mary and Elizabeth, you may esteem yourselves thrice blessed, for you are chosen mothers of long promised sons. And that's where I want to go back to that part. It said thrice blessed. Now we know the word thrice means three, correct? So I want to ask Morris, can they tell me the three blessings that they was telling them right then that they had upon them at that point? What was the three blessings we looking at right here in this chapter?
Islam, brother. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Brother Waterford Bay?
Yeah. I had my hand up. I guess you couldn't see it.
Oh, I didn't see it. I apologize.
Okay. Now I want to speak on two particular verses. First, the one you just read, they were marveling much, where they would want to teach. Now that WONT, you might think that means they wanted to teach, but that ain't what that means. That's a custom, and they was excited about that.
Right.
Okay, and then I will camel back off of what the Grand Sheikh said about Herod, you know, I'm going to talk about his son, Archelaus. He was the elder son of Herod the Great, became king after his father's death. He was a selfish and cruel king who carried on with the killing of the infants of Jerusalem with the hopes and intentions of killing John and Jesus. Peace.
Islam.
Praise
Islam.
Allah.
And that was the idea. You know, the idea was to get rid of them. So just kill all of them, and we'll make sure we got him. Right? We don't know which one is him, but kill all of them.
The
That's
baby's
cruel
cool.
right there. That's cruel. More, that's cruel. Just kill everybody. We get them for sure. That's really outrageous if we think about that, especially those who understand the Lord self. But I was asking about those three blessings. And so it spoke about three blessings, and I want to hear them. The three blessings that they was able to receive that in this
Islam.
moment.
Islam. Islam more.
Islam. My Hebrew brother Jake, that's Clay Bay.
Yes,
Yep.
sir.
Islam.
My thoughts on that is the first blessing is that they were chosen mothers of those sons.
Okay.
The second blessing is that they still alive.
Okay.
And the third blessing is that those sons are going to go on and become great. Peace.
Islam. You know, and you put the two together, but you brought them back. But that's it. When they was marveling much because of their deliverance, that was the first blessing. The fact that Jesus was being protected, and they were too. Here it is. Somebody said, "Hey, tell them to come to us." That's a blessing. You don't know what to do. They about to kill all the children, and somebody say, "Come here, over here." And then you come and they say, "Well, no, don't worry about it." Like the brother said, want means a custom. This is where they taught. One of the places where they was doing some teaching, one of the schools, you know. And so it was a sacred grove. And so when they got there, it was like they said, "Don't worry about just getting away. That ain't your only blessing. Your other blessing is that you are a chosen mother. God chose you for your child to be someone. And most importantly, your son is also a blessing because he's a long promised son. They've been prophesizing Jesus to come all these years. And out of all people, it's Mary who's the mother of Jesus. Ain't that a blessing? It's Elizabeth who's the mother of John. Brother L. Thompson Bay, I don't know who the other Zoom users is, but I see you. You can unmute after the Brother L. Thompson Bay.
That might be your Grand Sheikis.
Her, no, that's
It
not
might
her.
be. Okay. The other one is Brother A. Bruce Bay.
Okay, Islam.
It might be. Praise Allah. I just, in conjunction with what you have already said, I just want to point out that Elihu and Salome was husband and wife.
Mm-hmm.
Both of them master teachers. Peace.
Islam. Brother Bruce Bay?
Islam, Moorish Americans.
Okay, Islam.
Islam instructor, thank you. We appreciate you. Your energy is amazing. We really appreciate it.
Wow, I love yours too, more.
Thank you, brother. I apologize for being late. They worked me hard at the plantation. But I just wanted to comment on instruction 7, where it says, have we got down there for?
Oh yeah, we there, more. You right there. We where you at? We with you.
Great. Okay. Elihu said, "It is not strange. There are no happenings. Law governs all events." Praise be to Allah and honor our holy prophet Noble Drew Ali. And this is a mind state. I was listening to the brother Cook Bay, and this is a mind state that we should have, whether it was 2,000 years ago with brother Jesus or whether it's today. Allah is present. Allah is present in all that we do. You know, universal law governs all events. And what Allah was taking John and Jesus and Mary and Elizabeth through, it just had to happen because Allah has always tried to communicate with us, whether we have ears to hear or not. Allah has always sent us a messenger, a prophet, and that if we take our time and pay attention, we will see Allah wondrous signs. But this is what we need to know, is that universal law governs all event. Allah governs all event. Our sister Ian Thompson Bay always teaches us that even in a bad time, you know, we need to know that Allah is with us. whether we need to learn a lesson or just take our medicine. Allah is always with us. And that's just really what I love about Instruction 7. Like you said, from olden times, it was ordained. Some people don't want to accept the fact that we have this divine way of life that we're going to go through, and that's just it. You know, they think, some believe that they really can just take total control of what Allah has planned for them. Now, if you will your will in tune with Allah's will, it may be possible. But since we ain't all that all the time, maybe we should just trust in Allah. Thank you, more and peace.
Islam. And I'm glad you brought that out more, because that is one of the instructions that I like to stop on. And I'm glad you brought it back to me. I appreciate that. Because how do we prove that it is not strange that law governs all events? Law is the order of life. Everything happens for a reason. You can never say that somebody fell off the roof and it was an accident. Okay, of course it was a mistake. He didn't want to fall, right? But you know he did something wrong. You understand? If you get caught in a car accident, it may not be your fault, but if you're paying attention, you can prevent it. But when you don't do everything on your side to stop it, then it wasn't no strange happening that you are in a car accident. A lot of times we will give the Lord step too much energy. Allah will show you, he'll help you get out the accident and you'll still be upset, right? Talking about you almost hit me, right? But you know that it's all about you being aware and in tune with yourself. And Allah gonna protect you. And it's nothing never strange. Everything happens for a reason. It's where you at. It's for you to come through and get to where you're going next. Whatever you're going through now, that's set up for you to overcome and get to your next levels. Because every round goes higher and higher. Islam? So I appreciate Brother Bruce Bay for bringing that thought back to me, because I did go down a little bit past that. But it went on to say, we measure time. Okay, let me go up. It says, it was talking about these long promised sons, said, who are ordained to lay a solid rock, a sure foundation stone on which the temple of the perfect man shall rest. A temple that should never be destroyed. So when we start talking about the temple, what are we talking about, Morris? Let's talk about the temple. What is the temple?
Praise Allah, Brother Von here. The temple to me is the Allah, the Allah consciousness, the God consciousness. When we are able to see the light, walk in the light, and be the light. That means that we are demonstrating our higher self. And that's the temple that lies within, that cannot be seen with physical eyes. So to me, that's what the temple is. When man's spirit is in tune with Allah's spirit, when man's mind is, when Allah's mind is consumed within man's mind, man's will is consumed within Allah's will, and man's action is consumed according to how Allah desire for him to act. And it don't come with the outward show. Peace.
Islam, brother. I don't know if that's Brother Barry Bay, but I see the family up, so I gotta say the Barry Bay family. You represent the household of issue, my brother.
It's Islam, the brother. Our brother Grand Governor just jacked the ethers. I was going to read from Instruction 22, chapter 5.
Islam.
This rite of cleansing and this temple are but symbolic of the soul, which does not come with outward show, but is the temple within. Peace.
Peace. Islam. Brother Bruce Bay, you got your hand back up?
It's Islam. I do. And thank you, Brother. Praise Allah and honor the Prophet. When I was listening to Brother Thompson Bay, I have in the inconstancy, the last few verses of inconstancy. I don't want to read it, but it's what I make reference to when I think about that. It says something like, "But what exalted form is this?" You know, and this is the temple when we are living in that state of consciousness, that present mind, that present state of mind, to where we can appreciate everything that Allah has given us. Instruction 24 in chapter 41, what exalted form is this, that hitherwards direct is even, its uninterrupted course, whose foot is on earth, whose head is above the cloud. And it goes on to give us other examples of how life should be with us when we are living in that state of mind that Allah is always with us. And I just really think that, well, I was trying to make a point a couple of weeks ago about power and being in the state of appreciating your carnal manifestation and appreciating your body and understanding what power is. But you asked about the temple, and this is a place of worship of divinity. And when I think about that, I personally think that I could live in fruition. You know, and when I'm in fruition, I'm gonna have an exalted form. It's gonna be even, and it's gonna be balanced. It's not gonna be so high spiritually where I don't know how to enjoy some greens and cornbread, you know, and it's not gonna be so low to whereas I won't be able to recognize the mother of my children. But I don't want to dominate class, but I'm just getting home, so I'm gonna listen. Peace. Thank you.
Also, another definition. I think Grand Shakers, you was trying to unmute. I think she having trouble unmute. We're waiting to hear you. If you can get it unmute. Another term for temple is the dwelling place for God. So we talking about Allah Himself, His dwelling place. And where do He dwell? He dwell within all of us. We know that heaven and hell ain't nowhere out there. Everything is in us, even the temple. So if Allah don't dwell within us, really, we don't know Him. We don't have a relationship. But if we know where He dwells, we got to know how to go into that part of ourselves to make the connection. It's only through, as the brother just spoke about, and we go in there, it's through a soul kingdom. You got to go through the soul kingdom to tap into the spirit of Allah. You must go through the soul. You got to go up. So you got to raise your thoughts to infinite wisdom and let that direct. The spirit gonna start directing. So we going into the spiritual realm now, because He came to teach us about the temple so that we can represent a deity like He was, a Lord, like chapter 1. Don't forget, man was made Lord of soul and of the manifest, of the physical things. So Jesus, He had to come and let us know that that was real. That wasn't just talk. That wasn't just out there. That was the real deal. So now He had to come and show us our possibilities. So now we had to know what our power came from. The power came from the force, Allah Himself, our God. So now we got to know how to connect with Him and go within heaven, go within the thought, go within the kingdom, right? Islam? My grand, she just can't get that thing unmuted. She trying to unmute. I see it. Brother M. Cook Bay trying to help her and everything. I seen it. I don't know what's going on. But all is well. We'll let her in there when she get out of opportunity. I was waiting on her to come on in. But we talking about the temple. So that's our connection with Allah.
Islam, Brother Vanil.
Islam.
Praise Allah, in conjunction with what you was just saying, when we look at establishing this temple that shall never be destroyed while we hear flesh, we know that the temple is within. And the first thing we have to do is fix our heart. See, when to build our relationship, first examine his heart to note its strength and its worthiness, because the heart is what connects you to Allah. And that's why Jesus said, now when we dealing with thoughts, He said, away from me all tempting thoughts. My heart is fixed. I spurn this carnal self with all its vain ambition and its pride. Our heart got to be fixed when it comes to serving Allah. Although temptation may come, it won't have any burn on us if our heart is fixed. Peace.
Islam. And I'm glad you said that, because I was going to point that out. This is a very, very interesting chapter based upon the lessons that the mothers had to learn to even teach it. Before Jesus even knew these lessons, this is what Mary and Elizabeth had. You know what I'm saying? Jesus didn't even know these lessons yet. This is the mothers getting lessons, you know? And they had to teach this to their little ones. They was babies. But
Yes.
home, remember that, is where the heart is, okay?
Yeah.
Heart is at the core of us, at the center of us. So when we start talking about at the center of us, everything should be connected to your what? Heart. Your heart gonna connect with what? Your thoughts automatically.
That's right.
If your thoughts ain't right, your heart ain't gonna be right. Your heart got thoughts of its own.
That's
And
right.
so when we build up this temple, ultimately it starts with a thought that enters into our heart, and we got to make our heart burn that altar fire. We got to put that love in our heart so we can go to Allah. The only thing that gets us to Allah is the love that He sent us out to be. We got to raise love off the ground. He sent us here to be love. Him.
Praise Allah.
He said, develop your thoughts in the strength of Him, to be the strength of Allah made manifest. That's chapter 1. What Jesus did, He already told us this. We just didn't take Him seriously or something, or we wasn't taught. But now we got it. And we must believe first, so we can now go into this next level of faith with these lessons we have, so we can change the whole world. So we got it.
Praise
Islam?
Praise Allah.
Brother
Yes.
Barry Bay, you got your hand up.
And Brother Worldly Bay also.
Okay, Islam, I missed him. I appreciate you. Thank you.
Praise Allah.
Islam, Brother Von Hill. I want to channel off with the Grand Governor. Just open up the windows of your hearts.
Let's talk
and
about
like a flood of light, a heaven will come in
heaven.
and bring a boundless joy. Then the toil will be no cruel task.
Praise
Islam,
Peace.
Brother Worldly Bay.
Praise Allah. Praise Allah.
Islam.
Islam.
Praise Allah. I'd just like to chime in on the temple when it speaks about in verse 11, when it speaks about the temple who ordained to lay a solid rock, a sure foundation, stone on which the temple of the perfect man shall rest, a temple that shall never be destroyed. And we know that man is the spirit and the part of Allah. And as the Grand Sheikh spoke about the temple that's within, is that part of Allah that is in each and every one of us. And see, we know that, you can't destroy Allah. You're going to destroy yourself before you destroy Allah. That's what it means that should never be destroyed. We're gonna shed this flesh, and the soul gonna go on to the soul plane, and the spirit gonna dwell as there as well. So that's that temple, that part of Allah that's within us that should never be destroyed until we return back to Allah, in which we came. We would never be destroyed. Peace.
Peace. I see you, Brother Bruce Bay. And think about that. Allah didn't tell us that we had to die to have a paradise on earth or a heaven on earth. We learned that this was a state of mind. It's all a manifestation. It's whatever you want. If you're in a bad place, your life is in shambles, that's because of what you're thinking and what you're doing. You're going the wrong way. You're making the wrong choices. Something's leading you the wrong way. You're not listening to the right things. If you change that thought and go the other way, as I like to tell the Moors, why is it important to save yourself? If you don't, you can only destroy yourself. It's self-destruction or self-salvation. It's up to you. You can only do two things. Save yourself or destroy yourself. Which one you gonna do?
Get a hand, Von here.
This Brother Bruce Bay?
Yeah.
Islam. We're working with it.
Islam, can the Moors hear me?
There you go. I can hear you now.
Praise be to Allah. I'm really inspired by this Quran class tonight, and I really would like the other Moors to, what Willie Bay just say, chime in, camelback, however we do it. But I was considering what you was talking about the temple, and then it said they are ordained to lay a solid rock, a sure foundation stone, on which the temple of perfect man shall rest, a temple that shall never be destroyed. And it reminded me of the understanding that gave about understanding. You know, he said it was the rock on which man builds himself. This the gnosis of the alt and the now. You know, and I don't know why I keep coming back to this point more, and I don't mean no disrespect, but we have to live spiritually and we have to live in flesh. And we should have both of them in tune with Allah. And if we are in flesh, we need to understand, we need to have this sense of consciousness of what's around us and this sense of what we are here to do. And if it constantly comes from Allah, then we are okay. I really want to get to instruction 12, but that's what I thought about understanding. And when I thought about understanding, it made me think about, you have to think. You got to exercise thought. You have to consider situations and what's good for you and what's not good for you. But I don't think Allah has brought us here to have an unbalanced situation. I think Allah has let us have a balanced situation to whereas we can consider both ends. And even the soul is where we put our work in it. But I was thinking about that rock, and then I thought about that understanding. Just when Allah created man, He gave man the knowledge of all things. And we were right there with Allah spiritually. This is why we knew the nature of all things, because from that when there was no time to that which there is time, man has been present. And man we should know who we are. And if we don't, we trace ourselves back through the scriptures, through the teachings of the Bible, through the teachings of the Quran, through our holy prophet Noble Drew Ali. We consider what the message was from Allah so that we can know who we are and not exclude no part of who we are. Understanding is what I got out of that stone. Understanding, consciousness. Thank you, Brother Von Hill, and I'm going to be quiet and listen. Peace.
I'm glad you brought that up. That's what we gaining understanding. That's one of our faculties that allows us to come into a knowing, which is an awareness, which is ultimately a consciousness that Allah has given us that no other creature has. He said, "Be ye not like the brute beasts in whom there is no understanding." But the ideal is coming into the knowing of what? Truth. The knowledge of truth. Human knowledge don't do nothing for us. We don't want to be physical things caught up in our flesh, serving our physical self, trying to please ourselves. And that's how we separated from Allah. We want to be able to break it down from a thought, from Allah thought, down to the flesh. And just walk in the path that He opened for us. Let our devotions be, dedicated to what His cause is. Let our actions show the love to what He say. And if you don't enjoy living for Allah, then you ain't going to enjoy life. I can bet you this. You're going to catch some hell and some misery. If living for Allah is not good enough, and you need to do anything else, you're going to be going through it. That's the process. It's either or. In all the world, only two things, truth and falsehood. Allah is holy breath. Allah is truth. And so that's what we're trying to come into the knowing of so that we can develop ourselves in and open up, as chapter 1 say, in that holy breath, our souls. Guess what you're not in control of, Morris? You're not in control of Allah's spirit. Who control that? Those who are pure, who don't have a carnal form. The angels, they rule the mighty spirit of Allah. You don't. So in order for you to come into that spirit, you're going to come into the thought of that purity. See, you got to go into purity to get into love. It's all right here in this chapter. See? So we developing our thoughts and strengthening ourselves to get better and better so that we can overcome this lower self. And we are redeemed by the things we suffer, the things we overcome. Now, if you just go through the flow and don't make yourself better, you just say, well, I'm cool like this, then you can never be developed. That ain't growth. Seeds don't do that. You a seed. We'll be growing all the time, opening up, unfolding. And so that's what we're learning. The truth is the only thing gonna help us open up because wisdom is unlimited. So you shouldn't stop right there and say you done learned something, you learned these. I read the Holy Quran, I read other books every day. Praise Allah for the opportunity. Because I know knowledge is unlimited. And that's the only thing that we can use to develop our thinking and develop ourselves and something we can follow. We got the perfect blueprint right here. We gotta first accept it, we should believe it, then apply what we know. The application of our faith, right? Brother Gibbs, don't we do the nightly prayer tonight as well? Together? Don't it follow up? Because time get to flying when you're having fun.
It's fun, Brother Bonnier. We had just incorporated into our ending of the Quran class.
Okay, it's fine. I just want to make sure I didn't want to overlap. But yeah, so it says, we measure time by cycle ages, and the gate to every age we deem a milestone in the journey of the race. An age had passed, the gate into another age flies open at the age touch of time. This is the preparation age of soul, the kingdom of Emmanuel, of Allah in man. Now, that's a lot of information like that. So we talking about an age. What is an age? And how we can simplify that the best way we can? Anyone want to tell us, what is an age?
A period of time.
Period. I like that more. And if I can add to your thought, it's a period of time to which an accomplishment or achievement, right? So when I look at the creation, the 7 days, that's the greatest age you can look at, 7 days. You know, creation. What else could have been bigger than that was done in a period of time? Creation itself. And then we start looking at what happened after creation. And we can start measuring based upon it's a last day, just like it's the new day. See, Adam came in, it was a new day. But a last day came, and that means that time is over with, and a new time is on the way. We need to know this. Because Noble Drew Ali represents both a last day and a new day. He introduced a new era of time, and he was ending the age that we're talking about right here. We got to make sure we stay in this chapter and know who Noble Drew Ali is. Because he's in this chapter right here. It bears witness to Noble Drew Ali. Because he is Jesus that came again. It's right here. But we said the time never stops. We can't end it, right? We just know that we just keep going through different cycles, everybody. And you look up, everybody might be doing the right thing right now. It looks so beautiful. Then what happened? People start falling off and straying after other things, doing other things. And then once they pick it up, they teach somebody else. And that's how they get cast out. And those who accept those teachings get cast out with them, right? And then you look up, we need a prophet. But the Ain't Bay Grand Sheikh, you got your hand up?
Islam, brother, I guess my hand thing don't work.
Okay, I didn't see it, but yeah, I seen the brother Ain't Bay, and go after the brother. Brother Waterford Bay, you can go after brother Ain't Bay. Islam.
All right.
Islam Muslims. I want to first rise, giving praise to Allah, honors Prophet Ali, honors everyone here. The whole thing about the age, right? Praise Allah, give honors to what was said before about the age. I definitely give honors to that. Also, in a more technical sense, an age, from the astronomical perspective, in the precession of the equinoxes, an age is 2,160 years. And that takes us to our questionnaire, page 2. How long has that been? Answer, about 2,000 years ago. Peace.
Islam, peace. Brother Waterford Bay, the brother Bruce Bay, you got your hand up?
Wait a minute. Islam, can you hear me, this Waterford Bay?
I can hear you, Waterford Bay.
Okay. See, I was still up on 11 trying to get through when you got down to 12. So I start from 12 and go backwards. Now, that cycle age, you know, just to be short about it, it merely is a circle. That's a cycle age. Mm-hmm. You know, a complete reoccurrence of operations or events. It's a circle. Okay, and back to 11, who are ordained to lay a solid rock on foundation stone. You know, or I'll stop it at the word ordained. You know, ordained is orders from Allah had predestined that Jesus would be a prophet and John would be his harbinger, to be vested with ministerial and priestly authority. That was what I had commented on 11 about ordained, and then I went to the cycle, you know, and that's a circle, you know, a completion of events repeated, a phenomenon. Peace.
Peace.
Brother Bruce Bay, you got your hand up?
Yes, thank you. Praise Allah. Honor our holy prophet, Noble Drew Ali. It's such a blessing to hear the brother Anil Bay. I swear, this is so beautiful. Thank you, brother Il Thompson Bay. But I wanted to speak on the age, you know, and it was such a pleasure hearing him let us really know what the age was about 2,000 something years. The Holy Prophet Noble Drew Ali said that it was an electrifying age.
Mm-hmm.
So that if we trace civilization back, we see an Iron Age, a Stone Age, we see a couple of Ice Ages, you know, and all of these things are in line with what we are trying to teach here. And I say that to say that you brought up the 7 days. And 7 days to man is not 7 days to Allah.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but Allah continues, Allah continues to try to reveal himself to man, what it is that man should be trying to do. The important thing is that, and the gate to every age, we deem a milestone in the journey of the race. If you're doing that which is good, you're lightening your load. If you're doing that which is not pleasing to Allah, you putting that old millstone around your neck. So, you know, we build on what we know. If I got a little bit from the Sheik, and now Ben, I got something from Thompson Bay and Kush and all that, I should use these things. I should use these messages to elevate myself to this spiritual wind. The Holy Prophet said that if you so will, that you could come up to see him.
Yeah.
And I've done that maybe once or twice, and I've shaken so bad and sweat so bad that it lets me know that I still need some preparation, you know, that we still need to continue to purify ourselves, because we're here to try to resurrect the nation.
Yes.
You know, we really are. And we got to have clear examples of what's right. So, but I appreciate everything that I've heard. We measure time. What was your accomplishment? What happened on the Arabian Peninsula? What happened in Mesopotamia? What happened in the Garden of Eden? You
Right.
see, we have to put all these things together to know exactly who we are in this era of time. Because in this era of time now, we got to do certain things. But this class has really got me, brother Von here. Peace.
Islam. Sister B. Vaughn, then you got your hand up.
Islam, and in conjunction with that thought from the brother about how we are measuring, you know, measuring ourselves. When I think about measuring, you're looking at the precise things that you need, you know, when you're preparing something. And that's what we do need. We do need that purity to prepare us to even accept certain thoughts about ourselves, you know. It's not always easy when you examine yourself, because we're our biggest critic. As we know, we can be so hard on ourselves to where we can sometimes miss the message that way, because we have to also control our passions when Allah is speaking to us. You know, that's something that I'm constantly utilizing as well in the workshop of the mind. Because those tools can be used to purify our thoughts. And so, just honest to the thought of having the lessons available so that we can prepare our future, so that we can prepare ourselves for what's going on today, and, you know, things that we have to do. Like, we have to deal with one another. We have to deal with ourselves. And that can be a lot. We are all striving, and no one is perfect, but it's so honorable that we are perfect in the eyesight of Allah. So this chapter is very uplifting, and it's making me think about just constantly stay on the course, continue striving, continue understanding the course and the path that Allah has opened before you. It's a it's a greater journey on the other side, you know, when you know that you have a body, but that's not you. So you're striving, you know, to uplift yourself and be that light and walk in the truth that first of all, we are Moorish American Muslims, and we have principles that we live by, and we're supposed to ever so act according to them. You know, we can't constantly. Well, I know I can't constantly continue to use that I have a lower self as an excuse. Knowing that you have a lower self is a reason for you to examine and use your principles. The first one being love, and that one can be very tough. I noticed that we've been talking about that lately, the Moors, about how the love is the first principle listed. So it's something about that, and we know that the prophet is teaching us how to be loved, you know, and he told us that we need to learn. So as we learn, we're learning through what the test that we go through, you know, it being a member, you know, of the Moorish Science Temple of America. Yes, we know who we are, but you know, do we have to continue to practice? Absolutely, yes. So I just wanted to add to that thought and say I appreciate you, Morris, and all your beautiful thoughts. Peace.
Islam, brother L. Thompson Band, brother E. Worley Bud.
And brother Bean here.
Okay, brother Bean there. Okay, I didn't see him, but I got you.
Yes, praise Allah. Sister Bonnie, I appreciate the thought, the message. I felt the message. It's just so wonderful to hear the Moors, all the Moors that are rotating on the lessons that the Holy Prophet Noble Drew Ali brought. And when I look at verse 13, instruction 13, where it says, this is the preparation age of soul. So when you prepare, as the sister, I'm coming backing off what Sister Bonnie was talking about. When you prepare something, you got to have it measured out. And in preparing, what means do you use in order to prepare for the age of soul? And then what is the kingdom of Emmanuel?
There we go.
It means to say the kingdom of Emmanuel. And then the prophet let us know right after that, it say of Allah and man. And when we look at the Quran, it say the higher self. Can the higher self pass away? No, because it is Allah and man. And in order to prepare that age for the kingdom of the soul, the prophet let us know that we got to practice justice, mercy, love, and right. Those are the some of the means by which we prepare ourselves to get ourselves right with Allah, to get ourselves right with each other. You know, it's in our love to each other that Allah's care is continue to us all. So we got to really learn how to find this love for ourselves, true love, where we take it, we purify ourselves. We purify ourselves with the teachings of the Holy Prophet Noble Drew Ali, so we can extend this love to each other where it can be felt in a sense that is uplifting. Sometimes people say they love you, but the love you get from them is not uplifting. See, that's not that divine love that the Prophet Noble Drew Ali brought. That's carnal love. See, that divine love taking and raise a man up or raise a woman up, it raise you up closer to Allah. You feel good about the love that you're feeling. And I think the love that the Prophet Noble Drew Ali brought to us, and he teaching us that we need to learn to love instead of hate, it comes only through our higher self, which is the kingdom of Emmanuel, the Allah and man. Peace.
Peace. Brother Worldly Bay. Who that? You said that was Barry Bay? I see him now.
Brother Bean Hill.
Okay, Bean Hill. Okay, Islam. Okay, go ahead, Brother Worldly Bay. And then Bean Hill.
To the Prophet Noble Drew Ali. Oh man, the Grand Sheik just took the words right out of my mouth. And praise Allah for the thought for the sister, because the sister really spoke well about that establishing to thyself those principles of action. And see that thou ever act according to them, so shall thy passions have no rule over thee, so shall thy conscience ensure unto thee the good that thou possess. And we possess that love. The Grand Sheik spoke about sometimes we fear that love comes from someone, but it's that carnal love. When you demonstrate that divine love, you can feel that divine love. You know that that love is sincere, you know, and sometimes we can, you know, say things a certain way or make a certain facial expression, and you can inadvertently offend someone not knowing that you're doing it, but that goes back to being conscious of self and knowing yourself and how you move and the things that cause you to act, you know, in your passions. But that's why the prophet teaches us to draw a circle around those things and be conscious of those things, to be conscious of self, such a lesson itself. And when you demonstrate that divine love, like the Grand Chief stated, you know, you feel good within yourself. Feel good within yourself when you can support someone and you know you made them feel, you know, better than what they were feeling at first. You know, that's that divine love. You know, the pure in heart will give love and not demand love in return. So that's, you know, the sister, you know, I really felt that what the sister was saying. You know, we got to love on a divine level and treat each other with that love, and then we can go out into society and give that love at the same token to ones that need from Moorish America. Peace.
Islam. Peace.
Islam, Moors. Islam, glad to see the Moors. Like, apologize for Moors being late. I've been out to the hospital with my stepson for the last 3 days with my queen, Doug. He's real sick right now. But praise Allah, Allah got him. You hear me?
Islam.
Okay. The Quran teaches that an age that passed and gave another age, fly over the age of test of time, right? This is the proper age of the soul, the kingdom, Almighty will, Allah and man. And these your sons will be the first to teach the need, teach the news and teach the gospel goodwill of man, right? So we got to trace back and forth, Brother Brownhill. Once we trace the teaching back and forth, thus we in fact what we're saying, right? This is another age we're living in, right? But Christ in your life has come, and you must have clear conceptual work that you're called to do, right? So we got to listen to still small voice at all times. With that, I leave. I can. I love the Moors. Peace.
Love and peace. Brother Anel Bay. Anel Bay. I want to make sure I'm saying your name, but I always call you Anel Bay for some reason. Anel Bay.
Praise the Lord, brother. No worries, brother. Praise the Lord. This is a powerful. This is a powerful discussion. I'm very happy to be a part of it. You know, but the whole thing about the kingdom of Emmanuel. One of the things that, you know, for myself, I try to always be vigilant about. We grew up in the European psychology where we were taught that flesh is sinful, and sometimes we low key fall back into that. You know what I mean? When we begin to forsake flesh. Yeah, Jesus did tell Barat Tarabel, let us forget the flesh and go with mind in the land of fleshless things, right? Right. But when he came to demonstrate the possibilities of man, what did he do? He didn't stay in the realm of souls unmanifest. No. He came back to that carnal flesh, reanimated it, and then transmuted it. You see what I'm saying? That's kingdom of Emmanuel. What does it mean for us as man? We're asked the question in question number 1, who made you? But then we're also told in chapter 1, everything that's been made will be unmade. How about that, right? So what do we mean by made? Man himself as body, soul, and spirit is a process. What is the process? The process is the coming of Allah in his creation. That is man's purpose, to manifest Allah in his creation. That's the kingdom of Emmanuel. Peace.
Brother Owens Bay, I see you had your hand up as well.
Praise Allah more. I give praise to Allah and I give honors to all within the sound of my voice. But this conversation is good. And I'm dropping down to 15. Because 15, you know, 15 says, a mighty work is theirs. For carnal men want not the light. They love the dark. And when the light shines in the dark, they comprehend it not. So that's a powerful statement in itself. and he talk about the work. And that's all that's been being discussed tonight is about the work that has to be done. Because you got to be strong in the work. You got to be strong in your faith. You got to be steadfast in your walk. Because a mighty work is carnal men don't want this light that we have. This light that we have to give the world in order to save man from his sinful and fallen stage of humanity. Don't want you to have it. Don't want you to produce it. So they're going to throw all kind of roadblocks in front just to try to sway you, try to sidestep you, try to make you second guess yourself. But Allah's leading on. And that's one thing, because the Quran talk about hope being our beacon light. And Allah is the road. Allah is the path that we leading back to. So the light shining in the dark. And all we got to do is stay the course. May Allah be pleased. Peace.
Islam, peace. And I see Brother Bruce Bay, I'm about to get you in there. One of the things that we don't really discuss a lot of times, I want to make sure we remember this. We're not just lords, as in rulers or governors. We also masters. But masters of what? See, we got to master our minds, master our thoughts. And as we do that, then we'll know how to become that mastermind. See, we got to become masterminds as well. So some things we got to do with our minds. We got to purify our minds, not just our hearts. And then masterminds can trace themselves back, because in order to know where we're going, you got to know where you came from. In order for you to be who you are today, you got to know what you were yesterday, because without a doubt, you are what they were, right? But you got to know this. But while you can see it in the physical, can you remember when you was in spirit realm with Allah? When you came into the soul plane, can you trace yourself back? Because remember, we in a chapter where it's like, you know, that you debase yourself to a carnal, physical thing. So now we need to go back to Jesus, to go back to the thought, the soul kingdom, to remember that, to reestablish that kingdom, the kingdom of Allah and man. We're trying to get back into that Garden of Eden again with Allah, that kingdom. Trying to trace ourselves back. We can remember. Brother Bruce Bay, hey, Brother Thompson Bay, what time this Quran class is usually over with?
At 9 o'clock.
Okay, we went a little further.
It's like, I'd like to get in line, water per bay.
Islam. Brother Bruce Bay. Yeah, but you still muted more.
Great class, Brother Von.
I enjoyed this class, man. This is one of the classes we got to do it again, boy, because this is like a lot of more information we got to talk about. Yes, Allah said, let there be light on day one. That's me. That's you. We the light. They talking about stars. We the stars. You know, we heavenly beings. We the angels that manifest.
Praise Allah.
That's us. The brother still can't get mute. Brother Waterford Bay, go ahead. And Brother Bruce Bay, come on when you get on mute.
Islam, praise Allah and honor to the prophet. I want to speak on Emmanuel. You know, for a long time, I always wondered what exactly who is Emmanuel, what exactly is the message in that particular word, you know. Right. And the Grand Sheikh Thompson Bay just told you it's a lying man. But also for my studies, that was specifically applied to Jesus, that word, Emmanuel. Peace.
Islam. And before I turn it over, I do want to say that Jesus was given a holy name. What does Jesus mean? Jesus means justice. What does justice mean? Justice means the absence of evil, wickedness, or corruption. It means righteousness.
We still got 40 minutes, brother.
Okay. Oh, we still got time?
Yeah, we got 40 minutes.
Okay. Oh, you know what? You said 9, and I'm thinking about my time. Okay, all is well. Yeah, it's well. We on 2 different time zones. Okay, all is well. But remember what Jesus meant. And so Emmanuel is what Allah didn't make now one of us to be evil or wicked or corrupt. That wasn't his thoughts. There's no evil in Allah. But it became a foe that we had to fight against to develop ourselves in the strength and the spirit of Allah so we can know what we are. It's one thing to think you know Allah. It's another thing to really have a relationship and know that's him. You can hear any voices in your head all day, but you got to know the difference between the two voices. Islam? Brother Clinton the Bay, you had something you want to say? Okay, I thought you were saying something. Islam. And so when you mentioned that Emmanuel, that's the kingdom of Allah and man. That's what Allah made, a kingdom. Really, this whole creation, everything is here with us, but what's been exalted? What's the most important? What's the pride of the creation? Man, you, me. Ain't that special? Ain't that peculiar? Don't you feel favored? Brother Grand Governor, you got your hand up?
Yes. I mean, praise Allah and honor the Prophet Noble Jurali. I'm just sitting up here elated. My cup is done ran over. Listen to y'all discuss just the things that we need to build within to make a better world. You know, and it's good that you're drilling in on the spirit, but the prophet tells us, he said, so let our spirit actuate and direct our flesh, so let it repress its wilderness. And so when we in harmony with Allah, that's our higher self. And we know that our higher self is human spirit, clothed with soul. And so when we get off into Emmanuel of our lion man, we got all of these demonstrations of how to be like our Father. Jesus, Muhammad, Buddha, Confucius, and now Noble Jew Ali, an angel of Allah, come in this land, prophesied over 2,000. The lessons that they was teaching 2,000 years ago, he was that angel that brought the messages forth now. And so now we got to take these lessons to learn to love instead of hate. We got to get hate, bigotry, all of these psychological lower self things that try to drag you down. But the Prophet Noble Jurali lessons are the remedy to every situation that we can think of. But in due time, the prophet said, I brought you everything it takes to save a nation. Now take it and save yourself. And we know, he said, we're going to have to straighten out our brothers in the East. You know, he said, we can't come thinking like our brothers in the East. Because why? I brought you back to old time religion. He said we were the ones that built the holy city of Mecca. We was that light that shines through all the world, you know. And so I'm gonna stop right there because I'm loving what I'm hearing. And with that, love and peace to you all.
Islam, love and peace. I'm gonna read this next instruction. I'm gonna ask everyone a question because a lot of times we get different perspectives on the next one. Some people say it should be written different. I'm gonna read it how I have it here. In my Holy Quran, it says, we call these sons revealers of the light, but they must have the light before they can receive the light. And, you know, I've heard people tell me to change things, you know, whatever, but I want to say this to the class, you know, just having an open mind, that if you see two words, they may be synonyms, right? Which means they are similar. But if they're different, they got their own meaning. So we want to figure out what makes these words different in their own right. Not try to use the synonym, but see what makes the word different, how it makes sense. Okay, with all due respect. So we talking about revealers of the light. That's someone who's gonna do what? Give the information out. Correct? Islam, brother Bean Hill.
I get honest to all the Moors, and right. He said we call these sons revealer light, so they must have some knowledge. They must have some knowledge of this great truth, Mo. Wisdom and knowledge. So that's my understanding. They must have some great knowledge of this wisdom, knowledge of the Quran that the great prophet Noble Ali brought to Moors. The prophet said, I brought everything to take to save the nation. Now take it and save yourself. We talking about the Quran and the one-on-one. Put them two books together, Mo. You can't miss out on your divine salvation. Peace.
Big. And I want to look at the word. The word have means to be available, right? So let's say, like my children, right? They may not have a car, but they do have a car because there's one available that they can ride in. It's here. So it's to be within availability for service or use. So in order for Jesus to know these lessons, it had to be available because remember, the world wasn't trying to hear this. So Allah is choosing this mother and this family to learn these lessons so they have them available so that they can give it to the son so what he can do what? Receive means to do what? To take in. Once he take it in, he'll be able to do what? Give it out. So that was the system. So the parents was really the key right here. Allah chose them because they was the ones that was going to have it there teaching. That's who was teaching these lessons. So that's why the parents was very key here. And I like to give honors to the mothers because they was the reason why them children got it. And it goes on to say, and you must teach your sons to set their souls on fire with love and holy zeal, and them conscious of the mission to the sons of men. It says, teach them that Allah and man are one. Teach them. Allah and man are one, but that through carnal thoughts and words and deeds, man tore himself away from Allah to base himself. So that's why we're trying to get back to soul kingdom, because we fail in thought to the physical carnal self, where now we must fight ourselves to get ourselves back to the mind over matter, to the higher self, right? To the Allah and man, to the kingdom of Emmanuel, so we can get back to that oneness with Allah. We're trying to get back there. And the only thing that can do that is what? Holy breath. We was made out of spirit and holy breath, what Allah is. The truth is the only thing that can make us free. And make means to create, the same thing. Just like Allah made us. And he didn't make us in falsehood.
Brother Von Ear.
Islam?
Islam, this is Bruce Bay. You know I'm struggling with my phone.
I know, I see. I was waiting on you to unmute.
Hey, and don't laugh at Brother Thompson Bay, my grand sheik jokes about me. But if I could, praise Allah, I want to back up a little bit too about this preparation age of soul.
Okay.
The kingdom of Emmanuel. We've heard some good things, but I was just thinking when the grand sheik Thompson Bay was saying about Act 7, and that's how I try to open up the means. Prepare your hearts and your mind pure with love. Get all that up out of you. And I want to say, because for the last 3, 4, I don't know, more 5 weeks, I've been teaching about the power that's within the physical man. And it's not forsaken that I don't understand the spiritual element that exists within us. Allah and man is one. And we accept that as a fact without doubt or contradiction. We know Allah and man are one. So I know my spiritual existence came down through that me desiring carnal nature. But this preparation age, it's like the fire. You know, it's like the farmer that has to get the ground ready. It's like the guy that had to get the furnace ready for the porcelain. We just got to get rid of some things that have never done us any good. And I say that intentionally because it's accepting the way of life that doesn't honor the covenant. And the covenant is to honor our mothers and our fathers. We are Moorish Americans because we are descendants of Moroccans and born here in America. We are descendants of the ancient Moabites, and that is very essential. So when we prepare ourselves, we trace ourselves back, and we get to know who our father was. We get to honor him whether he was perfect or not. We get to honor our mother whether she was perfect or not. And we go all the way back to the Garden of Eden so that we may understand Allah and his messages. But this preparation age of soul, it can go on for a while, you know, so we don't have to think that we're going to just get it immediately. It took me 40 years, you know, and I'm considering the oral statement of the prophet that it would take me 50 years. So I'm still trying to get it right, but I do know without a doubt or contradiction that Allah's leading and victory is sure. I don't give up. I don't give up. And I thank the sister for her message earlier. Man, this is so great. These moors are wonderful.
Wow.
Glad I
Use Islam.
Yes, peace.
Okay, peace. My brother Clinton and Bay, you had your hand up. Islam.
Islam, Moorish Americans. Can you hear me?
And we can hear you.
I give praise to Allah and honor to the Prophet. Just a couple things on what the brother was just speaking about. you know, this message that we're talking about, chapter 2, that's over 2,000 years ago. That age is basically over.
Over.
We in the dawning of the age of Aquarius.
New era.
So the thing about it is, some people on this earth plane are ahead of the curve, like the Moors. Some are age behind. See, some people that the message we're talking about right now, some people just learning that today. But the people that was with Jesus at that moment, some of those people got that message right there, and they've been teaching that message for over 2,000 years, been manifesting on that. And some of them are just getting the message. Some people are 2 ages behind. They're not even with the message of Jesus, no let Muhammad or the prophet.
Yes.
But going back to something you said before about the whole part of the message of chapter 2 is the education of Mary and Elizabeth. Why did Mary and Elizabeth have to be educated? Because they had to educate their son. So when it says they are revealers of the light, you know what I'm saying? When you talk about the concept of they have to, and just to give the Moors a little history of the context, we've had these discussions years ago. We actually had Qurans where it was changed to reveal the light.
Yeah.
And then the Moors came back with the same conversation. Oh, you're changing what the prophet wrote, and you got to put it back to receive, even though you can't, you like fumbling as a teacher to try to explain, if you already have the light, why do you have to receive the light if you already have it?
Right.
And the whole context of the sentence is, we call these sons revealers of the light. And so they're going to reveal the light after their parents, Mary and Elizabeth, learning from the masters about what they got to teach them, is going to give them that light so then they can reveal it.
Right.
So that's just my portion of it. And so, and there's other things like in chapter 11 where people try to explain the 7 others.
Ethers, right.
And it's not others, it's ethers. But praise be to Allah, we understand. We want to be very careful not to change any of the concepts and thoughts of the prophets and the wording, but we also want to use our thinking and reasoning to try to justify and understand certain things. And there's many more things that's in there that Moors over the years, it might be a letter that's not printed right or whatever, it changes the context piece.
I appreciate you, my brother. Islam. Somebody has said something. I'm gonna finish reading. I think we can get through here. This is the good part. It said, teach them that Allah man of one. Okay, we read that. It says, teach them that holy breath would make them one. Again, what other names do we get a holy breath? When we start using the term holy breath, what do we think about? Holy breath.
Islam, praise Allah and honor to the prophet. Another name for Allah.
Another name for Allah. Truth, right? Oh, holy breath. But man, it's the breath made flesh. Unfortunately, you can't just be called the holy breath because you got some falsehood in you. You got to get rid of that. If you keep that, we can't call you the holy breath. You just still the breath made flesh. But when you strive and get rid of that lower self, you're going to come up into your higher self and be holy. You can't do nothing but be a deity. Brother Owens Bay and then Brother Bean is.
Islam, or again, when you get back to just to camel back on what you were saying, when you get back down to it, it says right here at 20, and 20 says that naught can make them one but love, but also love the world, the clothes on the flesh, men can comprehend. But no, I was really at 22 and 23. But I'm just going to 23. 23 says, but purity in life men do not comprehend. So it too must come in flesh. That's the key there. That's the key to understanding everything that this lesson is talking about. Purity.
Purity.
See, but purity in life, men don't comprehend it. So it got to come in flesh. So, I mean, Jesus said, in the Bible, right, in some of the scriptures that are accredited to our brother Nazarene, that, you got to be as gentle as doves, but yet you also got to be as cunning as foxes, you know what I mean? So but purity got to lead the way. And purity is not a thing that men talk about. Purity is a thing that man becomes. And that's through words, acts, and deeds. It ain't just about the talk of purity.
Right.
But, purity, men know. Peace.
If Allah dwelling place is the temple within you, and Allah don't dwell in unclean places, how can y'all meet in the heart if your heart is pure and foul and wicked? How can he meet in your mind and your thoughts if your thoughts are sick? Y'all ain't on the same page. So that's why all Moorish and man can keep their hearts and minds pure with love and their bodies clean with water. This is divine instruction to get you back on course, to cleaning yourself up, to making sure you got the right relationship working with you and Allah. This ain't about me and you. It is. It's about you and Allah. You can judge me. You ain't gotta like me. Who cares? Allah gonna deal with you for all your unjust deeds. He ain't gonna deal with me for that. And he ain't gonna deal with me for none of your unjust deeds. He gonna deal with me for what I do. Every soul gonna be held accountable. And remember, this is still the spirit plane, more. It's vibrating, just not so fast. We just gotta learn how to stay spiritual. And we are still on soul plane because we still are functioning as souls here that's immortal like our spirits. So we gotta know how to stay on that plane, raised above this flesh, and don't get caught in our body. So to be Von here.
It's fine. What it made me think about when you all were speaking now is why religion was instituted. Allah provided religion so that we can have these discussions, so that we can be able to point out our weaknesses that we all have. Because the deep part about self and studying self, one of the divine instructions that stick out to me all the time is where you think you are the strongest, you are actually the most weakest. And that's not verbatim. Forgive me, Morris, praise Allah. However, what the lesson is teaching us is like to know where we are. Like that divine instruction is so humbling every time I hear it, because you like, wow, you blew back. Like, wow, here it is. I'm thinking I'm on, and so we understand that you can fall by climbing, you climbing, and then, it's like something happens when, like the prophet explained it to us, you think you land on a bed of roses, and then you look up and you have to take self accountability, because, somewhere in this creation, you were also creating. And so what chapter 2 demonstrates as well is knowing all of these things, but also you got to be able to put them into use, like, and actually apply these lessons, so that, because we do have them available. Our prophet divinely prepared this straight from Allah. We can stand on that. We don't have to say, well, this was, tainted or, unadulterated truth. Consult with Allah on the questions that we have, because we don't even need a middleman or a priest to intercede. Praise Allah. We talking about brother Jesus. He even let us know to regard not what man has said. So what that does is gives us a lot of work to do. It allows us to have that obligation to self to say, okay, I'm going to do this. Why? Because this is making me better. Even if I'm tight about it, I might not be so happy for someone to say, sis, your pen is a little crooked, But what I have to do in order for it to work on me is communicate it to the wise for thy own improvement. See, we have to be conscious of our circles as well, because everybody, you got that assemblance of truth will try to pop up, and sometimes you may not be able to distinguish truth from error, especially with these human eyes. And so that's why it's very important that we just continue to study ourselves and do what Allah is telling us to do. He brought this chapter to our attention second for a reason. The number 2 can be seen as representation of consciousness. So who's supposed to be providing that consciousness to the household? We have a great and honorable responsibility as mothers. Teach these lessons to your little ones so that they may learn to love instead of hate. Because ultimately the choice is up to the person. So just praise Allah that we have these lessons available, and we can open our Holy Quran and all the sacred messages. You know, you just see them and you hear them and you watch them work in our lives and others. With that, I say peace.
Islam. Peace. And with respect to what the brother Clinton and Bay was talking about, how the age was over with. Noah Ali told us that we was in the new era time. So I like to bear witness that we are in that day now. He said that the Moors will come into that new day. He gave us a time period. He said 2000. Okay, so by the time we got there, I started noticing we was in the 21st century. And I like numbers. I like to throw a little numbers around. Clinton Bay play with numbers a little bit too. But think about Noble Drew Ali was born in 1886, right? How many years has slavery been abolished after he was born? How many years was that? From the time slavery was abolished, 21 years. Okay, now Jesus taught for 18 years, but did he lead a manifest at 30? When did Jesus lead a manifest? How old was he? 33?
33.
So if he taught for 18 years, from 12 to 30, 3 more years, so 18 plus 3 is how many years?
Here we go. Come on, Mom.
How many numbers we talking about now? We talking about 18 plus 3 is how many?
21.
We still talking about the same numbers, right? So it was like signifying something, but see, we don't be seeing certain things, right? Brother Clinton and Bay, go ahead. I see your hand up.
He taught for how many years more? 18 years, right?
Taught for 18.
Okay, that's all. I gotta leave it like that. When you said a new era, that's not the same thing as an age. So when the Prophet Noble Drew Ali is talking on Acts 7 of Divine Constitution and Bylaws, Acts 6, a new era, he's not talking about, this is a different concept here. So an age, like you mentioned, is about 2,150. You could check that out. And then you put all of those together, you come out with the great year, which is close to like 26,000 years. It's all dealing with the rotation of our Milky Way galaxy around the different zodiacs. But so that's what I'm saying. So this portion when Jesus is born and they're talking about, the masters are talking about different ages and how they're milestones and that there was a new age. So that if we look at Jesus, it's about 2024 in the year of our Lord, AD, Anno Domini, right? So it's around this portion, not to put, some people want to put a pinpoint on it, but it's kind of like right around this period of time in the next 100 years or so when we're going into the age of Aquarius, so when the prophet, even Noble Drew Ali talks about he's the last prophet in these days, what I'm saying? My portion is he's making reference to this particular age. I'll say peace.
Islam, peace. Brother Bean, you got your hand up.
Islam, can I get in after him?
Islam wars. The Prophet Noble Drew Ali teaching in the Quran that means comprehend the image like what they see and do, right? They come to Allah through circumorph form. They don't have the same knowledge that me and you've been blessed with, Brother Brown Hill. Islam. So we can means comprehend the image like what they see and do, right? So that's why you got to be the most 24/7. Because men comprehend the image like what they see. You see you walking that walk, they gonna walk it, Mo. Peace.
Peace. Islam, brother, that was Lord Hill that speak.
Islam, brother.
Okay, who's that?
This Waterford Bay.
Okay, Waterford Bay, Islam.
Islam, praise Allah and honor to the prophet. I want to go back to the rebuilders of the light, and we talking about ages of time and stuff. At one age, these lessons were secret. And the rebuilders of the light is John, Jesus, and Prophet Noble Drew Ali. All of them are rebuilders of the light. Peace.
Islam. Well, I would like to also point out reason why I want to make that revelation important, because in the Holy Quran of Mecca, it refers to us as being the house of revelation. See, we got the book, we are the children of the prophethood. We talk about we children of a prophethood. We all these things are granted to us, who we are, Moorish Americans, by the way. So Noble Drew Ali came to teach us some things so we can learn some things, so we can connect with some things and be some things. So this is what we learning with Jesus to start with. That's who we supposed to all try to be like. You said we can all be just like him. We actually have to be if we want to try to get ourselves right with Allah. It said this age will comprehend but little of the works of purity and love, but not a word is lost, for in the book of Allah's remembrance, a registry is made of every thought and word and deed. And when the world is ready to receive, lo, Allah will send a messenger to open the book and copy from its sacred pages all the messages of purity and love. Now, I like to go to that. That's one of my favorite things about the prophecies concerning Jesus. He prophesied that he will be back. And he told you when he comes, he's going to make sure that all the glory is now given to him from the prophet instead to Allah. Not saying that Allah don't get all the glory, but when Jesus was here, he gave Allah all the glory. But he said, when the messenger come back, you would know it's me because he going to give me the glory. No other messenger came teaching Jesus' lessons. And because of that, we got a book that's different than any other holy book. See, this book that we have, it's not a book that we read. It's a book that reads us. It tells us where we are at because it tells us about higher self and lower self. And we get to see where we at today, who we want to be today. See, that's the secret lessons. It get to tell you who you are. Now, you can read all day and study all day. And that's what you should be trying to apply to yourself to better yourself if you're not where you're supposed to be. But don't get comfortable. Because ultimately, it's letting you know something. It says, then. See, now we can't say we don't have it. Noble Drew Ali showed up. He talked about Jesus. He said, what? This is for all those who love who? Jesus. He said the genealogy of who? See, he was talking about Jesus. So we know he had to be the messenger. And he came to teach us about that love and that purity. Brother M. Johnson Bay. You got your hand up?
Tell him you got to unmute yourself.
You got to unmute if you're saying anything. We can't hear you.
Islam.
Islam.
Yeah, I just wanted to, the question was asked about Jesus, how old he was.
Right.
When he descended.
When he left the manifest?
When he left, yeah. I heard 30 and 33. But the Quran say, it say these events occurred before he was 30 years of age.
Okay.
And you know when it said these events occurred before he was 30 years of age, and the events after he had risen from the dead. So all of this occurred before he never made it to 30 here. Peace.
Islam. It said, and so we spoke about some of the things that happened before he went into his ministry. That was his life, works, and teachings. Remember, this is his life, works, and teachings. Then we also have his ministry, which you get to see when he went into the wilderness to be alone with himself to see was he ready for that work. He had been all over. And during that time, he had actually been protected by being all out in India for 18 years. He wasn't even around us. He was gone, doing work, learning lessons, getting ready. Brother Owens Bay.
Islam. Now, I just wanted to say one day, his ministry didn't start until the age of 30.
Yes, ma'am.
That's when his ministry started. And his ministry lasted for 3 years.
For 3 years, Islam.
He was 33 years old when they crucified him.
Islam.
Peace.
Peace. Brother A. Thompson Bay.
Islam, Morris.
Islam.
I want to give praise to Allah and honor to the Prophet. I'm in full agreement, Brother Owens Bay. In the Quran, when they say these events happened before he was 30 years old, they talking about his travels in India, Africa, and Europe.
Yes.
After his travels in India, Africa, and Europe, he began his divine ministry.
Mm-hmm.
And he demonstrated for 3 years before he was crucified. So in conjunction with Owens Bay said he was 33 years old. Peace.
Islam, more. Yeah, I just want to, and listen, more.
Islam.
I
Islam.
just want to compare Islam, brother Clinton and Bay.
Wait a second for a second. So now, Brother Johnson Bay just read from the Holy Quran, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's after we read about the resurrection, we read, the crucifixion, the resurrection, and everything. And then it says, these events. What events? All these events that we just read about.
Yeah, a lot
We
of
read
events.
about his ministry. We read about his crucifixion. We read about him going to visit the temples as he resurrected. These events occurred before he was 30 years. So what's this other 3 years? Where does it come after the resurrection? Because the Moors are saying one thing, but I'm looking at what the prophet said. Now I understand what the Moors are saying from other information. But let's say the prophet said, when did Jesus begin to teach? At the age of 12. How long did he teach? 18 years. We know the math, that's 30. It says right here 30. It says these events, the events right here in the Quran, the chapter right before Jesus fully materialized. So all that stuff in the camps of John and all that ministry happened before that. And then it says 30. That's what Brother Johnson Bay saying. That's what I'm looking at. So tell me where these other 3 years come from? If the prophet said 12 and 18, and here it says these events that we're talking about before 30, that's the point I'm trying to make. I'm trying to figure
So
that
more,
out. Peace.
I would like to point this out as well. It said and, so the brother did point it out about and after he resurrected. In chapter 13, it lets you know that Jesus returned back to the camps where he had started. He had been here 30 years ago. This before anything else happened. He was about 30 at this point. When he came back to Elihu Shalom, they knew that he was ready for his ministry. They said, let the servant go in peace. They seen that he had learned his lessons. He was about 30 at that point. This before we even get to his ministry. So just to continue to study, it's nothing to feel compelled or, we here to discuss it. That's all. I understand. Everyone has a way of seeing things, but it lets you know when the last time they seen Jesus, like 25 years ago. You know what I mean? He's a little boy, a babe. So, he still had ministry to do coming up. John still had ministry coming up. Brother Barry Bay, you got your hand up?
It's Islam, brother Von L. Yeah, I just wanted to camel walk with brother W. Clinton and Bay. I follow his thought. Jesus disputed with the doctors of the law. He was 12 years old. When he was just 12 years old, when Ravana first met him, he was climbing up a 12-step ladder. He was 12 years old. With that, I say peace.
Praise God.
And like I said, Morris, sometimes, like I said, Jesus was in the temple. He was disputing. Dispute only means you may not agree with everything, but that's what information is for. We research, we study.
Islam.
Islam.
Yeah, I wanted to read something real quick.
Okay. Is that Brother A. Thompson Bell Senior had his hand up?
It's
Jones Bay. I'm speaking right now. I can't see you speaking anybody. Okay.
It said,
M. Johnson Bay.
M. Johnson Bay.
It said, and Jesus came to Egypt land, and all was well. He tarried not upon the coast. He went at once to Zoan, home of Elihu and Salom, who 25 years before had taught his mother in that sacred grove. That's 20. He's 25 years old. He's not 30 at this age, at this time. Peace.
Islam, please.
Islam.
Brother Bruce Bay, that's you?
Yes, that's me, more. I would just wanted to finish reading on page 32. I appreciate Brother Johnson Bay and Brother Clinton Bay, but to continue reading on page 32, it said these events occurred before he was 30 years of age. At the event after he had risen from the dead, he appeared back, made himself known to the world. These events of the 18 years was absent from you. This is the part that I was paying attention. These events of John the Baptist, John taught by the Egyptians, say the meaning of baptize and how to baptize himself. After the baptism, he was taken at the age of 12 into Africa and the land of Egypt. And there he remained in the Egyptian school for 18 years. Now, I'm still trying to figure this out. But we know that John and Jesus both was in this school together. And he stayed there for 18 years. So, oh man, the thought must be developed by the exercise of strength. So we got some studying to do. And I thank the Moors for that. Peace.
I think it's a good conversation, and I think we can, like I say, it's those conversations we'll have again. We can discuss it, together as Moorish Americans. We try to reach
2 minutes more.
Islam. I want to read these last 2 instructions and get y'all final thoughts because I know it's about that time to wrap it up and we can get this prayer in there. Let me go back. It says. By instruction 27 says, then every man of earth will read the words of life in language of his native land, and men will see the light and walk in the light and be the light. And man again will be at one with Allah. And so ultimately, once the messenger has come, as Noble Joe Ali did, he showed up, he brought us the messages. He copied from the sacred pages. He brought us everything. So he took away all our excuses. We can't make no more excuses. We can't say we didn't know. We can't say it's not in our language because we speaking that English. And so it's in an English form for us. Noble Drew Ali can't speak in our language. He came in our image. Brother Johnson Bay, M. Johnson Bay.
Islam. Yeah, real quick. The Quran say, "O thou who are normed with the beauty of truth, and have fixed thy heart on the simplicities of her charm. Hold fast thy fidelity unto her, and forsake her not. The constancy of thy virtue crowneth thee with honor." The Holy Quran and the Moorish Science Temple, what is written in the Quran is the truth, Moors. And don't forsake the truth for your friends. Don't forsake the truth for your grand sheik. Don't forsake the truth for your spouse, your children. Don't forsake the truth for nobody. That's the way I see it. I don't go along to get along when it comes to the truth. Peace.
Prayer time. Prayer time.
It's prayer time.
Yeah, praise Allah. Let's do proper prayer, Morris.
Go read
it. Brother Thompson, someone else will lead the prayer. You want me to lead the prayer out?
You go ahead, brother. You did an awesome job today. We love you, brother Divine. A very good job. Praise Allah. You lead the prayer more.
Islam, Morris. All those who are able to God face the east, send the Moorish American prayer. We pray 5 on the left, 2 on the right. Get a 45-degree angle. We have command unity. Allah, the Father of the universe.
Allah, the Father of the universe.
Father of love.
Father of love.
Truth.
Truth.
Peace.
Peace.
Freedom.
Freedom.
And justice.
And justice.
Allah is my protector.
Allah is my protector.
My guide.
My guide.
And my salvation.
And my salvation.
By night.
By night.
And by day.
And by day.
Through his holy prophet.
Through his holy prophet.
Drew Ali.
Drew Ali.
Amen.
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 Islam. Great job, Brother Von Hill.
Good job, Brother Von
Great
Hill.
job, Brother Von
Great
Hill.
job,
Thank you
dear
for the
Brother
call
Von Hill.
earlier
Praise Allah.
today.
Praise
and you did
Allah.
well, brother. Very well. I
Love
sat
and
back
peace,
and
Morris.
listened and learned a lot from all the Moors. Great job, Brother Von Hill.